Sorry about that, everyone. We're back with the stream. Headers and everything will be fixed soon. Just hold on.
An overtime contest coming in here from Mystics. Both teams at 99%. NFG Chaos is botting off the point. It will be Chaos evening out the map.
Yeah, NFG, as that map went on, you could see them adapting more to Mystics. The players like Lynx trying to just take the map control, and they adapted to that a little bit more, a little bit better, so that they couldn't just get surrounded and their backline destroyed as much in the latter half.
And it will be point 3. Nepal always an interesting map for the different compositions we can see the teams run.
Yep, absolutely.
End up making a lot of space for the team on the Wrecking Ball. However, it does look like Chaos is going to go for that Reinhardt Zarya Brawl comp again in the same comp coming up for Mystics.
Yep. Brawl comp, very, very, very good comp on Village. Mystics decides to go for the hard brawl, which is a very good play on Village. NFG opts for the slightly more sustainable long range.
There is a very
with Ana
running the Mei over the Echo they're running before. We see and a very quick pick from the nice right click from Lynx, killing off Shadowkin. NFG in disadvantage. However, a big charge coming in from the Reinhardt, killing off the opposing Reinhardt on the side. We do see the main wall coming up. Mystics can still take this. Just a cleanup here right now. Both teams trading out. Looks like Mystics prioritizing the point presence, while Chaos prioritizing the high ground. We do see another huge charge coming in. However, nice anti-nade from...
In the long run, as long as NFG cleans up this fight quickly, that little bit of point progress shouldn't realistically... but Mystics coming back in.
And do you see him be able to keep the point? However, there is a sleeping Reinhardt. However, it does look like Chaos not able to take advantage of the high ground. They got Mystics just fragging out.
That's insane. NFG wins the fight, but they take so long to clean up that Mystics comes back in and just takes that fight advantage right away, and they just keep the point.
NFG, however, is coming up under support ultimates, while Mystics with the changeover to Baptiste will have very little charge on that. A huge Ana Don coming in. Bob's coming up for Mystics. Looks like NFG able to cut it. A huge charge coming in from the Reinhardt, killing off Loki Bear. And counter charge is missed, and the Reaper is in. A huge immortality. Shadow comes down. Both teams are trading out. The Bob with a huge pick. 2 go down from NFG. Psycho Gamer able to trade out. However, it does look like Mystics is going to be able to keep this point with the Blizzard there. A lot of ultimates to change by the team. There's Mystics coming out on top.
Yeah, Mystics comp for this map just might be a better comp for this map, because the Moira can just output so many heals in these big brawl fights, while the Ana is, I suppose they're playing for Nano here. If they can get off a big Nano Blossom, then that could be good. But
both teams just trading things. Did you see the Zenyatta swap from Mystics once again trading off that support line? We see Stan W, the huge pick. Stan W has gotten so many picks this game. Scoop kills off the Reaper, and we do see a huge Shadow coming in. We do see the Dominated stepping to the team, and the grab being used by Mystics, and it is a very clean up by NFG Chaos. However, Stan W still not being dealt with, still finding picks, and it will be Ansauce and Stan W, and then 1-1 on the point. You do see the Mei and the Reaper coming back in to support their team. Is both TPS for Mystics. Lynx gets the kill into Ansauce. You do see Reaper just trying to concise the point with Ash coming back in. Lynx, however, gets another kill. Bob not going on the point. However, Mystics looks like they want to come back in here. NFG just throwing bodies on the point right now, just trying to keep that overtime going off. You see a very solid point hold here from Mystics. You see the Mayo coming out. Loki Bear with the kill. However, Mystics getting 2. It still looks like Mystics are up with the ball being frozen, and the pick on the Lucio does not look like Chaos will be able to sustain. They touch 3, barely touched again. Bob coming back in, Reaper down, and the Bob down. It does look like Mystics is going to take the ball.
Yeah, Mystics they played a lot more cohesively in that map. They played the brawl just a little bit better because they stuck together. Some of NFG's players sometimes seems like Mystics was always taking map control, and it wasn't always called out, I would assume, on NFG's side, because they would just take these insane angles. Like in that last fight, which was a very long fight because it was a bunch of basically walking and trying to steal the point, but Lynx on the Mei in the last fight he literally just circled around. He was like in their backline as Mei, and that's not a character that you traditionally have sitting in the backline, but they just didn't do anything about it.
Mystics absolutely getting a huge amount of value from both their DPS players. We saw Stan W staying on Ash the whole time and really getting a ton of value with the Dynamites and with those picks. Be interesting to see what Energy Chaos is going to do to try to deal with that huge amount of map presence being developed by Mystics.
Yeah, if NFG wants to take this series back, they really need to look at that map, examine it, say, and one of the first things they need to do is we can't let them have all that map control for free.
What are there any compositional switches that you want to see from them?
I mean, on Village, they could have played a little bit more brawly. The Mei was a good pick to go with the brawl from Mystics. And on Sanctum, the just some of the picks didn't seem to have as much synergy as you might normally like Doomfist and Orisa. The hybrid comp, you'd usually want to play it in a little bit differently. But I think it's just primarily playstyle things. I think at this level you can make a lot of things work.
It is interesting that neither team has opted for the Genji so far. Genji obviously
that is very interesting. Yes.
Genji obviously a very strong hero, can very much be enabled as well as countered by the break. However, neither team, either they're not comfortable on it or have decided that they can run these comps better.
I mean, Nepal, it's not like the biggest Genji favored map, but it is a little surprising to not see it even picked up once. Well, we'll see going into the next map, depending on the map pick, what map they pick. Maybe they opt for a Genji then.
I believe the map is given. Give me a second. I am currently checking match 14. Our next map will be Eichenwald. So what would you like to see from either team? So obviously you mentioned the high ground control. Mystics most likely probably going to be running that Ash comp again. You know, Genji's certainly much harder on Eichenwald. Is there what would
you
like?
Say Genji harder on Eichenwald?
Genji can access to the high ground is obviously huge. So we could see Genji. We could also see the Echo coming back from Mystics.
Yep, Echo's good for the majority of Eichenwald except for third point, and Genji with the high ground on the second phase is, I mean, it's also very playable.
Certainly.
On Eichenwald, I usually, in the past, I've seen teams play like spam comps, kind of double shield comps on defense, and attack is a little bit more open. It depends on their playstyle. They could play Brawl if they wanted to, or they could play one comp that's been making a little bit of headway lately has been Winston Zarya. So, you know, all depends on their playstyle, what they feel comfortable with. So I can't make any predictions on these what these players will do exactly. But
yeah, that is certainly something we saw, especially out of the APAC region in Overwatch League. Obviously, a much higher level of execution than we're having this tournament. Over the dive comp with the Zarya to enable the monkey, and certainly with the potential inclusion of Sombra, definitely creates a lot of incredibly strong synergy within the team and allows a very quick execute either onto the DPS line or the support line if they get greedy.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier than your traditional Genji Tracer dive, which typically requires a lot of coordination to pull off effectively.
It will be interesting to see how the teams choose to open up their comps. Eichenwald, obviously, one of the most interesting maps because of how different the different points are. We have, point 2 obviously with like the huge, lack of skybox, very open. Point 3 very close. Point 1 having that massive choke that's very hard to push. We do see full holds on Eichenwald fairly often.
Yep.
Currently just waiting to get the map set up and for the teams to get back in game.
Not sure if we're going to have to cut to a break or if we're going to be up soon. Let's do that.
We will be cutting
to
a break, and if you hold on, folks, we will be back shortly. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to GHG Overwatch. I lied earlier. It will, in fact, be Hollywood as our hybrid map, with NFG Chaos looking to even up the map score back to 1-1. Mystics looking very strong so far.
Yeah, and Hollywood here is going to be a little bit more of a dive-oriented map, at least for attack, so we'll see if either of them opt to play that. Spam also very good in defense.
It will be NFG Chaos on the defense first. Looks like they're coming out with the Junkrat.
If Mystic keeps moving to maintain high ground control like they did last map and off angles, then it's going to be really rough for NFG Chaos if they don't do with it.
Right now, Mystic is showing the Symmetra. Now, obviously, with attacking spawn, it's never easy to tell until they actually are in game.
Yep.
It does look they're rolling it on the Symmetra, and still with the Ryan Zarya.
Junkrat's on both sides, interestingly. And Stan W is okay. So it's not just an initial move out of spawn faster or anything.
They're holding it to some kind of teleport strat. You do see Chaos already set up on low ground. The teleporter comes out from Mystics onto the high ground. An immediate top down. However, though, running into double shield, not very easy to do. We do see a lot of quick kills. 2 kills from Mystics coming back, however, and Stan W getting so much value on the Symmetra. It does look like Mystics is melting away, trying to keep that Orisa up. It happens. Stan W, that huge Zarya beam, just getting beamed down, and Chaos has to give up point.
That was actually really surprising because right off the bat, 2 of them died, I think, unless I misread the UI.
Yeah,
but they still capped it. Jeez.
Stan with the absolute, just mad lad charge coming in. Mystics resetting up for their point B defense. You do see so close onto a Symmetra, and the Pharah swap coming on from NFG Chaos gets a pick onto the Moira, so already worth value. Interestingly, a Pharah with no mercy setup because there's nothing to test the Pharah.
Yeah, the Pharah can be very good on phase 2 with all the high ground rooftops, etc. Just for her to reset her jetpack on and everything.
Stimwall coming in. Zappa gets a pick on the Reinhardt. You do see NFG is doing a good job of not letting the Reinhardt get into their zone. They are just like backing up, looking for picks.
Yep.
But we're giving up a lot of
hiding
already getting it. You do see the coalescence coming in from Mystics, just trying to keep their entire team up. Chaos, no ultimates is desert yet, just keep fighting. A nice pick from Zarya onto the Pharah. However, Loki Bear is able to kill the Zarya in return, so there's still an even trade. Junkrat
He's just sitting on the bridge, spamming in.
Wait, look, gets stunned out and killed by Zedarex, killing the Sigma rather. Instead, W gets the kill. You do see once again that map control really coming into play for Mystics.
Yep.
Psychic Gamer though getting a kill on Zedarex.
And it's cleanup phase at this point. We'll see if Mystea gets out, but yeah, we just see them Mystics take control of the high ground, especially with the Junkrat. I'd really like to see Shadow Kid and try and at least contest the high ground, especially since he's far. It should be really easy for him to get up there.
Chaos with almost a full ult stack once again. We see Mystics with the Shatter and another Symmetra wall from StanW. And quite low with killing Misfire. And the break rally coming out and the jump tire coming out here for Psycho Gamer. Psycho trying to get some value, just running turn on getting huge kills on the bringing on the Junkrat.
That's a lot of value with that.
Over the Bar Barrage instantly shut down by StanW. Loki getting a kill onto Loki Bear, and it does look like Mystics is going to be able to cap the point once they clean up this fight. A late coalescence, however, worked out from Zerno. Probably not needed. Mystea contesting the point.
Yeah, clean up.
You see Chaos changing their comp again, going to
Mystics just swept through phase 2 with their control of high ground. I don't think I saw NFG use it like even once maybe. There's cursory use of it. You can't forget about high ground map control. It's really important. It's making a big difference here in this matchup. Thanks going for a flanking route on the high ground here. Let's see if they notice.
Quite Loki. Jump tire coming in, trying to put pressure onto the team, going onto the tanks, and it does get a pick on a Zappa, and Antos dies to quite Loki. And we do see Mystics just continuing to push forward. And really, Chaos not really able to mount any kind of defense while Mystics is pushing the card. Leaves the card to take the fight. You do see the Zarya grab, pulling him in spawn, and it will just be Mystics taking the point.
Yeah.
407, blazing fast time on
That was That was an incredibly fast time, because there's no guarantee you're even going to finish on a map like Hollywood. Mystics could have walked it in there, like, NFG wasn't even moving to die on card, which is problematic. They could have at least stalled it out a little there, but it ended up, they just pushed it through without any issues.
Yeah, we did see that Reinhardt comp with Mystics just full-on WM blending into the team.
Yep.
Quite looking, taking quite a lot of resources, giving so much space for Stan W to sit there and build up their ultimate charge, while Lynx was also just showering them, especially on point 2. We saw that Junkrat really taking control.
The thing with Symmetra is the longer the fight goes on, the worse it gets for the team that isn't using the Symmetra. So Stan 1 not getting contested, he builds up his beam to full power, or they build up their beam to full power, and then they're just beaming people down.
Yes, we absolutely saw how much charge the Symmetra does get against that double shield comp. You just build it up on the Sigma shield and onto the Risen shield. Looks like Stan W again coming in here on the Ashe. Yet to see a concise answer from Chaos.
NFG, the way they picked Echo and Junk, I don't know if they're comfort picks or if they expected them to pick spam. It was a lot of... seemed like they were anticipating to need a lot of shield break, but it's not really what they ended up needing.
You see the Zen coming out from Zetarex, and it looks like Chaos rolling out on the Pharmacy and the Kree.
Mystics running a double shield
from Mystics.
Brawl.
It will be seen if the Fire can get value and can stay out of the sightlines to stand up. He's done quite a lot. A huge boot, knocking down both tanks on the low ground.
That's a good move to try and kind of kick the majority of their team off with the high ground.
Take out a Psycho Gamer. We'll see if Loki Bear will be able to res that while the teams just exchange positioning. Loki Bear does get the res. Zetarex over kills the Reinhardt, and we do see how that Fire not able to win the shield poke war. Stooped with the kill on the Zappa, and we just do see the stronger front line in Mystics. Now with Messiah and Shadow Kitten just getting staggered out here in the back. With Quite Loki. Oh, Shadow Kitten gets down to Quite Loki. And interesting instance, we'll see if Chaos is able to leverage that. Orisa comes back quite slow, despite being Norse.
Yeah, on that push there, after the Pharah died first, the rest of NFG pushed in. They really should have probably just waited for the res to come through, and they could have made a push as a 6 stack. I really want to see Pharah trying to push and keep that high ground control at all costs.
Psycho Gamer,
if you're not killing them.
2-1 against Stan W. No res on the side for Mystics. We do see the Coalescent coming out from Torino. Shadow Kitten does have the high noon. This Immortality coming out for the high noon. Oh, huge high noon for Shadow Kitten.
Oh my god. That was an enormous high noon. And I really liked Psycho Gamer. He was actively trying to keep them from the high ground control. Lynx tried to take it back and Psycho was on him like that.
Stan W punishing Psycho for trying to get some forward positioning, showing that Ashe is still nothing to be messed with. Chaos is able to take the plan A, which is important for them to try to match this.
Looks like
last time.
Psycho swaps off Pharah to the Ashe.
We are going to see the double hit scan.
Loki swaps the Brig.
Both Reinhardt sitting with their shatters. And a Bob for Stan W. No other quite a lot of ultimates coming up from Mystics. Did you see the flank shatter coming in?
They really need to deal with Stupid in the back. There you go.
Field just punishing the Reinhardt for that positioning, and we do see a quick roll from NFG Chaos.
Stupid just drops in chat feed. Oh man.
When
having fun with it.
When the enemy team is running the double shield and you don't see the Reinhardt, it's pretty safe to assume some kind of hero shatter.
Yep, it's like if they're running a Pharah and you can't see her, odds are she's looking for an ult.
Yeah. Did you see Stupid swapping over to the Roadhog? Zarya Hog, a classic comp we don't see much recently. Stan W once again just not high ground. Getting low though. Nice job by Psycho Gamer pressuring him out. Did you see a Dynamite coming in and a Supercharger engaged here from Mystics. Currently being kited by Chaos. A Bob coming down now for Stan W. Throwing it into the backline, however, Bob runs past, still able to get some value on the Reinhardt. Stupid finds Shadow Kitten. However, looks like they're going to be
online. They could still win this.
Stan W still sitting on the high ground. There is a copy available for Lynx. However, there is going to copy the Reinhardt, while Messiah, however, using the Immortality field, sitting on.
Oh my gosh, an enormous shatter.
Zetarex using the trance to try to keep that push coming in. Lynx getting to. Do you see another shatter coming in?
Another shatter.
The power of the Echo really coming through, just absolutely dominating.
And at that point, the trance coming out from Zetarex was just seemed like BM. The fight was already almost guaranteed.
You do see However, Mystics use their entire ultimate stash. NFG Chaos is coming in. They're going to have all 6 ults once Loki Bear gets that.
Now, if they play this right, they don't have a double shield anymore. Should be able to get. It should be a little easier to get a shatter off. If they play this right, they should have ults to spare for the next fight, and they should be able to take.
However, Antos gets naded and absolutely melted. Go fall out there for the grab. Let's just start in. Stand up, you're gonna kill him, Loki Bear, and just looks like just a wasted grab coming up from Chaos. Would have really liked to see Zarya hold that after the Reinhardt got melted. And
it was an enormous grab, but unfortunately, the rest of NFG Chaos didn't seem to be prepared for it.
It was a very quick play from Mystics. Once the Reinhardt went down, they just took so much poke. Reinhardt just got melted by the support combination of the purple from the nade and the Zen Orb. We do see a Nano and a Whole Hog coming up from Mystics. Left side pushed out from Chaos using the rally. Another huge dynamite coming from StanW and the Whole Hog committed. Bob coming up to contest a Nano Whole Hog and another High Noon. Tavikin finds Padrino. Bob finding Zetarex. You see both supports now down for Mystics.
That's 4 ults for NFG.
This should be Chaos' fight, just pressing through and winning this fight.
There we go.
They
A little bit there, I was worried they were going to dedicate 4 ults and not win, but they got it, they got it.
You do see Chaos still having that shatter and that...
Mystics has enough time for a recontest here.
The classic Zarya Orisa coming out now for Mystics. We do see the Supercharger.
Interesting.
See if they can try to recontest.
It might be a little bit of an interim swap.
To keep
They
that
have Supercharger.
A shatter attack from Ansat's over just gets melted. Zappa finding White Loki. Wall White Loki use the ultimate. However, Lynxo able to find a kill. Zetarex going down. Bob coming out. Zappa with a huge double kill on Zarya. However, no contesting for the Bob, just getting so much damage, and Chaos is not able to contest. A huge Bob comes from StanW. Zappa killed 3 in that fight. However, not able to win. You do see Zappa
Let's just clean up.
trying to keep positioning.
Yeah,
Are see the risk staying. Oh, Zappa with another kill. Zappa playing huge. That fully charged Zarya basically
getting exit picks. It seemed like NFG didn't think they could lose that fight, but now they're coming in with 2 people.
A huge grab coming up from Chaos. Ansos dies with a grab again, but Zappa though coming huge for Energy Chaos. Just
Zappa
it should be
is
Energy
short.
Chaos fight.
If they don't deal with Lynx, though, he's about to land the grab of his lifetime.
Lynxo dies, and it is Zappa. That full charge Zarya dealing so much damage that Mystics just really isn't able to contest it.
Yeah, Zappa has landed some pretty girthy grabs here.
Zappa,
make sure his team can follow up.
Zappa doing their best to try to keep Chaos in this fight.
Yep.
Do you see Psycho now taking the high ground, putting a lot of pressure on the
Zetarex channeling his inner Jonak, going on the flank angle. Getting caught out.
Kicked up and punched by Shadow Kitten with that immortality, with that Transcendence in play. Zappa with another pick. Still see that Zarya Orisa comp coming out from Mystics and a Nana boost coming out of the Zarya, which an interesting decision. We see Chaos getting Dice skills. Ansos is in. Wants to take punishment for the earlier bullying by the support line. You see Mystics trying to recontest and reset up their defense. They still have that trans and they're coming from the grab. However, 3 ultimates, almost 4 coming up for Chaos. We do see an early transport now without any ultimates being used by Chaos. You guys can just kite this and come back.
Yeah, they just kite out the trans and
Another High Noon coming from Shadowkin. Shadowkin with a 3-man High Noon. Shadowkin's High Noons have been massive. It's getting so much value against Chaos.
Yeah.
Against Mystics for Chaos. And it is a late desperation grab and scoop. But it looks like Chaos is able to finish.
He didn't grab them off.
Time share. Shadow canceled Stupid's grab, which is just an even bigger play.
I didn't even realize.
Shadowkin coming up huge. Shadowkin putting Chaos on their back together with Zappa.
Zappa and Shadow Kitten really drove home through the latter half of the phase 2 and phase 3. In phase 3, Zetarex, he had his trans, and I don't know if he was just having fun, but he went on a really aggressive flank angle there, died, and I mean, and Mystics ended up getting rolled through on phase 3.
Mystics, however, does have a 3.5 minute time advantage on Chaos. Chaos only having a minute to take point A. They really, really need to cap this point A. Trying to hold the team for 4.5 minutes on Hollywood A is not pretty. We are going to see a Symmetric Junkrat coming in from Mystics, or at least at first. It's going to be a Symmetric Junkrat. Did see the Symmetric getting so much value for them on offense. Lynx's Junkrat also impressed.
Looks like they're opting for double shield this time. Yep.
And double shield with the Sigma instead of the Reinhardt, which is fair. The Reinhardt did kind of get bullied by all the different angles that was coming in from Chaos. Chaos looks like they're going to come in once again on that Ryan Zarya with a Hanzo McCree. Hanzo might just be for scouting arrows, though. We'll have to see.
There's definitely room to play Hanzo here. Especially with his wall climbing, he can take high ground very easily.
And do you see that early spam? That spam damage. Ansos's shield's just melting. Ansos's shield already so low. Have to expend the Zarya bubble. Ansos is trying to run on a point. However, a very messy position coming from Chaos. The Stand does get a kill on Shadow X. And the Stand W's turrets getting lots of work. Messiah forced out the immortality. And then Ansos just dies. It is a very solid defense coming from Mystics. Chaos looking a little bit disorganized. And Mystics just taking full advantage of it. Shadow Kitten again over onto the Pharah. And onto the Pharmacy, looking for some desperation. There is nothing to test Zarya, however, Stand W already having that Symmetra ultimate. No other ultimate is really on the table for anybody.
Yeah, the Pharah seems like a pretty good pick in this comp. They don't have any really hard counters, so aside from the Sigma Shield, there's not many ways for them to deal with it.
Ansos with a huge charge just to get onto the point, getting stunned immediately. And Immortality Field coming with so many reasons going to Reinhardt. Psycho with the pick over, Ansos going down. Fujirino popping the ultimate, 2 kills from Mystic. Mystic is a first up right now. Stand W once again, that Symmetra just getting so much value with that mouse, the mouse stick, and it does look like Chaos is going to get full health. Still no answer for Stand W Symmetra.
So there is a, what I guess you would say a draw condition here. It's drawable, but that's the best you can hope for at this point.
4.5 minutes.
It's gonna be
full hold point A is.
It's gonna be the hold of a lifetime.
However, it does have to be said that if they do pull it off, Chaos would definitely find a momentum shift into their favor. We really see Chaos really has not found a way to deal with Stand W. Stand W is getting a ton of value on all the characters they've been playing, and it looks like their best bet is just kind of to hope that they can get a matchup advantage and ignore Stand W. But we're seeing, especially on that Symmetra and on the Axis, Stand W is just really finding a ton of value for their team.
Yeah, DPS really need to try and take the space from just try and contest those off angles and try and get Stand W, the DPS of NFG that is, get Stand W out of the fight before he can build up charge, and carry the rest of the fight from that point on, because they output so much damage.
Chaos looking like they're choosing to match that at the top from Mystics. However, of note, they're running the Moira path instead of the Mercy, which I didn't mention that Mystics is running really important for that res ability. Looks like they're going for the higher healing output over the ability of the res. You are going to, however, see a Pharmacy coming out from Mystics, so already a preemptive compositional advantage. We'll see if Stand W stays on that Symmetra if it's just a TP strat. Looks like they're going for it again.
Note here, Lynx is going to be a far playing into a Junkrat
Shadow
Symmetra.
A quick pick on Stand W.
Yep, that's a good pick. That's going to offset their push by a good bit, although they do just get off the res.
It's going to use the res, so that is lost.
At the very least, it requires them to use a resource. That's
Mystics taking a lot of choke. It is hard with the Ryan Zarya comp to deal with that choke. You saw how much value they got out of that teleporter. It looks like they're using the in the back. A nice teleporter just getting into the back line. Shadow Kitten are getting 2 kills with Junkrat mines and a huge immortality build coming up from Messiah. And Chaos is still looking up. Stoop though, however, able to find Zappa. And Lynx starting to find value uncontested. Shadow Kitten killing Bujarino. However, it does look like
Lynx is just uncontested in the skies.
Stoop and Lynx are able to just use that advantage long term to grind out Chaos. And it does look like this is going to be Mystic's map. We do see that Zarya damage is over, so fire damage and Zarya damage over time just being too much for Chaos to handle, and it will be Mystics getting them. Mystics just showing that they're able to understand their win conditions a little bit better than Chaos and able to play around them. Be it putting the Reinhardt in position to force reactions and cooldowns out of Chaos, and then you see the high noon through the amplification matrix in nice 4K for Shadow Kitten.
Play from Shadow Kitten is definitely pretty insane on that map.
Stupid
across the whole game so far.
A lot of stupid talking, so much trash.
Honestly, but I mean,
it's
they have
understandable.
the right to until NFG can shut them up.
Yeah, hopefully Chaos will be able to use this break between maps to really come up with a strategy to try to deal with.
Yeah, and when you're getting trash talk like that, you know the best way to show them who's who is just to beat them. And hopefully NFG can take a break during this halftime, think about what they need to do, and rally back to take this series. I think we're going to be cutting to a break until we get to halftime or halftime discussion. Or yeah, so we'll be back in a bit.
Hello, everybody.
Back.
Welcome back.
To the
It
Golden
is-
Hammer Gaming League. We're on Route 66 now. Continue, Maddie. Sorry.
It's all good. We are going to see if Chaos can try to avoid the sweep coming out from Mystics. Mystics looking quite strong. What do you think Chaos is going to be able to, or should be doing in order to take Route 66?
A lot of what I've been saying this whole time is just taking map control away from Mystics, because the Mystics DPS are constantly taking flank angles and high ground, and not just the fact that they have it, but NFG doesn't even notice. A lot of the time on Hollywood, you would see Lynx and Stand Up, you just standing on high, just shooting at them, not even moving, and NFG doesn't notice. So we just need to see him adapt and react to that. Mystics playing Hog Diva now.
This looks like a bit of a BM.
They're BMing a little. They're throwing him a bone. So let's see NFG take that to throw the BM back in their face.
Do you see a Widowmaker come Stand W and cycle with the Doomfist? Hook attempt from Stoop, and it is just some nice higher control right now from Chaos. And we're going to see on that less. Doomfist comes in, and Stand W with the early pick on Shadow Kitten. That Widow will be a hard thing for Chaos to deal with what their current comp is. Break going low. Both teams just kind of exchanging pressure
Widow
right now.
on high, uncontested, just taking pot shots.
And over time, eventually, the Widow will hit something.
Over
right now, this is a
time.
brawl.
Even their body shots allowed
It's
up.
finding Ansauce, and with the Reinhardt down, it's going to be even harder for Chaos to mount defense.
Logi Bear there, he sees the Widow. He sees nobody's handling, he's like, I gotta do it myself. He launches himself with the Widow.
You see Cypher Gamer with the pick onto Stand W, and D-Mac onto Quite Loki. Chaos could attempt to come back with the Reinhardt coming back into play.
Yes, this is still very winnable, especially with the DVD mech for Mystics.
Stu's over, getting a kill onto Zappa.
They just need it.
Stu with a double kill now onto Cypher Gamer. With both support ults coming up from Mystics, while only 2 ultimates up for Chaos, it could be Mystics' fight to take back.
Yeah, they just need to be a little more confident to get this disengage and re-engage quick before.
They're going to be able to pressure the point, and it will be point 1 taken from Mystics. Chaos just has to back out.
Yeah, Logi Bear doing everything they can to try and contest the Widow for their team.
And
Maybe not
Stu-
the optimal hero, but they're trying to do it. And I
Yeah.
have to give them props for that.
I mean, who else on the team can do it? I mean, that's really their only ability to go onto the high ground. Psycho Gamer, however, going onto the Widowmaker now, trying to take that Widowmaker goal. But with Stand W already having sights up, it's going to be hard. And there
Taking
it
a
is.
sweet
Stand W
time.
using those sights gets a quick one-shot kill onto Psycho Gamer.
It's a 3v6 at this point for NFG. They just need a Shatter is dedicated.
And we do see Lynx once again copying the Reinhardt, getting very quickly up to a Shatter. A beat invested by Chaos. Chaos has much ult to try to win this fight. A huge Shatter Bomb coming out, getting 2. I mean,
Zappa
you see
grab.
The grab used by Zappa with Chaos already have to. Zappa, once again, the grab not being followed up, not being used with the team, which real punishing Zappa for that, and looks like it will be Chaos having to retreat
Okay,
again.
on the bright side, NFG still has Animatrix and Bob. Mystics is using their ult, so they're only going to have Rally for the recontest fight, realistically.
Did you see Sue
Well, and Hog ult.
on a Shadow and Loki Bear again just trying to take the 1v1 against the Widowmaker?
Really just
while
want to
Lynx
see
up-
them group up, and they're just getting stagger killed right now.
Chaos very much, it seems like, are being affected by this attempt. Zappa going onto the Roadhog. Do you see Stoop with the kill on Ansauce? Shandeli wins the battle against Loki Bear, and it is just Mystics thriving in the Chaos right now, just using all the space their tanks are creating and the Widowmaker's creating, just taking point B.
Yeah, when you're playing into a comp, that's a really late death for Zappa. When you're playing into a comp like Hog and Diva, it can really get in your head like this. Because, I mean, imagine Mystics, they're like, oh, they're playing Hog Diva, they're just BMing us at this point.
Sam W
But-
once again getting a pick on the Psycho Gamer. Bobbing, coming in, just putting pressure on the point. No one for Mystics is actually dying though, even with the Bob coming up. We do see a D-Mech on it quite lucky. That's a start for Chaos. Stoop
Stupid
getting stunned
has
out.
to die here.
Stoop getting absolutely mauled by the team. This is a window for Chaos to try to retake point control.
Yeah, let's see if they can stabilize. This is their chance. If they get any chance, this is it.
Rally
They have
coming
a
in.
Shatter and an Antimatrix. Whoa, trash talking stupid coming out.
Both teams now spending ultimates. Chaos does have some little point control over our not. We're not able to really fully set up the defense. Juicy Stan W again getting free high ground control. Zappa getting D-Mech on a quite low key. And it is a lot of ultimates expended. Lake's getting low. The Coalescent not really getting much. Juicy the style going down to Stand W. Stand W is getting so many picks. No one really. Best by Logan Bear.
Right here they rally with the beat, so this should be cleanup phase. We'll see if Mystics can clutch it out.
Chaos able to use their advantage. Interesting,
ambitious charge. A very ambitious charge coming over from Ansel.
Should get a G-Mech onto quite low, however. So both teams able to kind of reset a bit of a stall in the action.
Also, we see Genji for the first time. Genji has finally come out.
We do. It's
So,
map 3 apparently is
map
Chaos
3?
playing out of the back pocket.
Okay, NFG has 4 ults. They should be able to stall out with this. Okay,
Zappa with a pick,
shatter.
a shoot shatter, and a copy use as well. You do see Chaos using 2 of their ultimates, able to get so much value out of them, and as well as getting 2 ultimates out of Mystic.
I would call this a fair stabilization now. At this point, they've won 2 team fights. They're pretty stable now. Their ult economy is in a pretty good shape. They still have 3 ults. They didn't overcommit. The Mystic's got 2, which are pretty decent for taking space.
You do see that Genji blade still up, both support ult, the Bob in play. And that's what we do see both tank outs coming up from Mystics. Both teams just exchanging their abilities back and forth. Bob coming out and that's by the Diva Bomb. However, with nothing in combo, all it does is find that immortality build.
Use though.
Stupid, find the Shun Kai. Here's the Genji blade. Let's see if the Genji is getting. Oh, stunned by the break. And Zetarex taking that really well. Stan W eventually getting a pick onto the Genji. Zappa though getting 2.
Stupid is on the flank. They don't know. He's on the flank.
Stupid just walking into the enemy team, killing this guy.
Then that's a rally for Mystic. That's their opening. That's their chance. Stupid picks off the Baptiste, and that just causes a ripple effect. Mystic takes the fight off that.
Bobby used by Mystic using that window to really regain card control, and I think Chaos thought they were finally able to stabilize again. However, they do have Shatter and Ant Matrix backed by the Coalescence and Rally coming out. Quite low, getting quite low, and getting D-Max by Shatter Kitten. Seeing a lot of D-Max onto that Diva. Ansel's getting the kill. However, Stand W picking up Shatter Kitten again. Stand W getting so many opening picks. Stand W with 2 now. Once again, and we just see Stoop walking into the backline.
This is ridiculous. Stupid was in the backline for ages.
Zappa getting the kill on the Boucherino. The beat is being used by Chaos, and just both teams just kind of brawling out onto the point right now.
This is scrappy. But that doesn't mean it's bad.
Reaper coming out for Shadowkitten. Immortality field forced out. Stand Up getting another kill on Shadowkitten. Stand Up has had Shadowkitten's number. Juicy and it's just being used, and the Zappa using the ultimate. So much damage coming out, but not being converted into kills. Psycho Gamer with the high noon trying to zone the other team out. And it does get a kill onto Zetarex. Both teams just kind of brawling out right now. Mystics doesn't want to go at this point. A copy is onto the Reinhardt. Reinhardt's exchanging charges, and Psycho forces Links out of the right check.
Stupid's going back on the flank.
Gets caught. On Zappa, Bob coming out.
Make another opening.
Really nice by the Lucio to force Bob out of LOS of the card.
Oh no.
And Psycho Gamer on pick on Links. It looks like Mystics might finally be punished for their uncomp that they're running. Stupid trying to use the ultimate to get in space. Just being kited because it's in the doorway. And being bullied right now by the supports. Zetarex is definitely trying to contest the point. Psycho finally gets going Stupid. Quite Loki on the flank now. Stand Up, he's still just sitting in the back line. No one on Mystics
There we
touches
go. They did not let Mystics complete. That's good. That's progress. I'm really happy to see that stabilization from NFG. So now they have a win condition in sight for this map.
NFG hoping they can full complete Route C66, which is doable.
Yeah, so Mystics threw them a bone on that attack, and NFG took that bone. So now they're gonna see if they can run with this.
See if we can
This
get
is
the
very
true,
winnable if they play their cards right.
see if we can get the true comeback arc coming out from Chaos. And Chaos now judging Stupid for claiming that Stupid isn't toxic enough, which is an interesting take, not one I would share.
Yep, trash talk flying from both sides.
Does look like
Now
Mystics are going to be
time for NFG's attack.
Mystics going to be rolling out on the Ryan's area.
Interesting. Usually you see something like spam played here, but if they play it closer to the corner, it could be good.
And it does
NFG.
mostly die.
Yeah, they have 15 seconds left, so they could just be trolling us, but they look to be playing Winston Ball Dive. Interesting. Now, what I'd really like to see is the Genji come out, because Genji's in a great place, and a far better place than Doomfist, I'd say, here. It does look
And-
like Psycho's going to stay on the Doomfist, though.
Futurino not picking a character yet. And there are no supports coming out right now from Mystics, which is interesting.
Oh. Wow, this is really some, I don't know if this is intentional BM or if they're just spending so much time trash talking they're not paying attention to the game. Cart's not moving, by the
Looks
way.
like, yeah, Psycho getting an entry pick on the Zetarex. Quite nice play, and Ansat's getting picked on the CW. The Energy's died, getting 2 early picks. Quite lucky, getting hacked, getting bullied by the team, and it looks like Chaos does win the fight. Nobody else.
Wow.
Lane gets kill on this side. Looks like Chaos really trying to prioritize killing
And
Mystics.
quite Loki is so low. No way he gets out. Okay. The cart is okay. The cart just started moving, so this whole time the cart has not been making any progress.
Ansat's
which is
coming in,
not
getting Reaper bullying him. Stand up, he does get the kill. Second gamer though, getting another nice pick on the links. The Doofus getting so much value right now. However, Stu puts an end to that. It does look like Mystics will recontest with that strong front line.
You see, the issue there is they were never pushing the cart, so they won a fight, and by the time that fight was over, it wasn't really worth anything because the cart hadn't moved, and by the time the cart started moving, they were already back.
Beyond that now, knowing that they're going to be running against dive, Mystics able to run a Merman anti-dive comp.
Oh.
A huge grab, getting 4. Will they be able to follow it up though? Does not look like there's any damage. The grab basically is thrown away. Second gamer getting old Chaos getting low now. Just having to back up a Reinhardt swap.
Yeah, the
And right before the goal.
Yep, just a second too late.
He comes out, gets 5 members on the team. This is the window for Chaos to go in. Stand W will get killed, Psycho Gamer.
3 ults online for Mystic. This is still very winnable for them with those kind of ults.
Nailed to contest the point, and it does look like despite the EMP, Chaos is going to lose this fight.
Yeah, I really don't know if I agree with the Reinhardt swap because the dive was working out pretty well. Like, realistically, if they maintain high ground control, which they were doing on dive, they could still win even into a hog as long as they make sure he uses hooks.
You see the double off tank again from Mystics, this time on a Hog Zarya. Both support ultimates coming out, and the Reaper ult for Mystics, while Coalescent and Doomfist ultimate coming out from Energy Chaos. Chaos onto the far, trying to put things very aggressive engage from the Doomfist, forces out the May block. Just,
Okay, let's just hope this team can follow it up.
double kill! No one saw it
Psycho
coming.
is just trying as hard as to put the team on his back for this. Shadowkin picks up 3. Now push the cart, please. There we go.
Zetarex used to rally. It does look like that was a very nice fight for Chaos.
Mystics
Still
might be
holding
able to
on
get
their
a
ultimate.
not clean fight in here. Just to stall. Let's see if they have time.
Stoops has built up another grab, a much easier
They
grab.
could get a grab blossom here, and this could just shut this down if they play this.
Did you see the Reaper with the spin? Not getting any. Oh, does still Loki Bear. However, nice shatter coming out from Ansauce.
Block. I think Stupid blocked that with his bubble. I'm not completely sure.
Does look like Stoops' grab being used to clean up this fight, and Mystics will recontest.
Yeah, I hope we got a clip of that. I'm not completely sure if Stupid blocked with his bubble, but I think that's what happened because the shatter came out and nothing happened.
30 seconds.
The Reaper right in front of him didn't get hit even.
Chaos now with the only ultimate coming on play being that far ultimate. Nothing else really close. Hard for Chaos to contest this, especially with the high ground given over to Mystics. Mystics holding on here, taking out that Forest fan. Judas comes in, trying to find an opening pick, forces up the May block again. Zarya with far with the ultimate, forcing up Maywell, but not getting any other value. Antos with killing Stand W. Antos with the charge in.
Side out a little.
Juicy Shadowkin with the pick on Zinner.
Very little. Oh, the Blizzard. Let's hope this Blizzard doesn't turn it around. Those NFG's run starts up
Being
too.
used by Logan Bear, however, two skills being traded back and forth. Very messy fight. Neither team to win.
Oh.
Spin going to stand up with Shadowkin.
Okay, oh man.
Both teams fighting stand up, trying to stand up getting two. Stand up again getting the picks. However, will be enough for Mystics to contest.
Logic, if Logic can push this in before they get no.
Stop with the finding push Arena. Second hammer with the ultimate. Both teams just throwing bodies on the point at this point. Just trying to stay alive.
Anthos is
getting
coming in with the shatter. If their shield drops, he could drop it. And
a shatter
now
coming
they're
out
blocked with the
again.
bubble.
Still finding damage. The Shadow getting finding this should be Chaos' fight to clean up. They just have the tanks to kill from Mystics.
Fight just keeps on giving.
Stu uses the grab.
The grab is dedicated in a 1v4.
Stu acting like that wasn't a bad decision. Acting like that was just a gift, but I'm not sure if that's just.
He could just be BMing. He seems to be very keen on BMing them. So who knows? Who's to say? Even if it was a mistake, we wouldn't know. He could just, he's gotten that far into everybody's heads.
You've heard of zoning grabs. Now it's time for the mental zoning grab. Ansos finally the pick onto Zetarex as they push forward, forcing out the res from Bucharino.
Mystics has 3 ults online. They still have to Death Blossom. It could win a fight pretty handily right here without any counters.
You both see both teams quite lucky getting one. Shadow getting uncontested now on that high ground. Bucharino using the Valkyrie, just trying to keep the team up. And second, you're still getting the DMAC onto quite Loki. Both teams just exchanging face. An ult by Stand W, not able to find any value. Blocked quite well by Chaos.
That's enough value.
Shadow using ultimate finds Zetarex before being found by Lynx. Both teams just trading out numbers right now. And Psycho blocks the rest of the
Lynx is
ultimate.
half in the back and they don't even know. Psycho notices.
There's
And that fight is just clean up. They just need a Lynx dedicated to Blizzard. NFG, you gotta make something out of that.
a messy fight for sure, but Mystic able to take the advantage. Chaos
Mystic
coming up.
overuses an ult there. NFG is coming up on a Grav, Cole, and a Shatter. They could definitely win a fight with those.
He's stupid once again, hiding on the high ground.
Psycho's looking for the hog, but I don't know if it's the matchup he wants.
Anthos with the Shatter, nails two.
Humongous Shatter, but his team wasn't ready for it.
Stupid using the full hog onto the flank. Chaos just stand up, getting to Chaos, not able to use that big Shatter. Second, been killing quite Loki, but going to be rezzed up by Bucharino. So many resources used.
They can get one more fight. If Ant Sauce waits for his team, they get one more fight. They have a Grav, they have a Cole. That's a combo. But Mystics is coming up on Rally and Bomb.
You hate to see the Shatter used no value coming out. A Rally being used by Zetarex. And we do see both teams fighting for the play. They are able to catch a big grab hits too. They're able to melt Zetarex. However, quite Loki gets off the ultimate. Shadow getting the DMAC kill, the remake kill, and a kill on a stand W. Should be Chaos' fight to win here. However, we said that before and has not ended well.
Yep.
So they are really pressuring but being pocketed by
has
Bucharino.
the clutch potential.
Bucharino now, the only just kind of left
Yeah, he
alone.
could still res. He could still res the hog. The hog
Going
is
for it,
78% the ult.
Oh, gets the res on stupid, but sacrifices their life for it. The ultimate being used by Cycle.
As long as they don't forget that hog is in the back.
All DPSLs used by Chaos, they are able to take the point. However, very expensive fight. What should have been a clean pick.
Yeah.
Point B.
Okay, they send it into the third phase. This is, you got a minute and a half to take it almost all the way, but if you take it there, you win the map. Let's see if they can do this.
Shadowkin looks like they're swapping off of the fire because it's point safe.
Hello there.
And
Okay.
switch over
Smart play.
to Mystics.
Okay. If NFG just doesn't let Stupid get all these silly flank hog angles, they could make this work.
Nathan Stupid on the high ground. Very, very far separated from the team. Logan Bear trying to contest him, forces out the May block. Psycho, Stupid going for another hook. Stand up, you get a pick on the Psycho, and the Mail being used. The beat answering it, however, once again.
And Antsauce doesn't know what's, he can't, everything's going on in the back line behind him.
every ultimate being used right now by Mystics. They very much want to win this fight. They will only have Raleigh, however, are able to clean up this fight.
There's still 30 seconds to build up a Grav, a Cole. You have Shatter. There's definitely a fight win possible for NFG.
Swap over to McCree, Shadow getting onto the Reaper. Stand up, he once again free farming from the backline there. No ability to contest from Chaos. Chaos with the early Coalescence trying to melt down his White Loki. Stupid though, getting
the hog in the back.
Getting kill on Shadowkin, and Ansauce killing Xaderex. The kill on the White Loki and Boosterino. This could be winnable by Chaos. They're able to use the grab.
The grab was needed there. It was only 2. They just used their focus fire correctly. They don't need the grab, and then they have it, but too late now. This is coming out with Supercharger and Bob. If they punish the break here, then they can shut that ult out of the fight. There you go.
Xaderex dies. Bob, however, finding kill on a Logi Bear. Ansauce killing the Bongo. Stand W once again coming up huge with 3 kills. Ansauce trying with a counter Shatter, but not able to be enough. And it will be Stand W with 4 in the final fight. And it will be Mystics taking the map.
It was so close. They almost had the map. Almost had it.
Stand W once again clutch for their team.
What a game there. I liked on their attack, their initial attack. I liked the attempt at changing it up with dive, and it worked out at first, but then they swapped right off. I mean, they did get a hog, that's correct, but once hog gives up high ground, it's free for your dive to take, so I would have liked to see them play with the dive a little bit longer to see what they could do, because I think that was that's when they looked their strongest, in my opinion.
It does have to be pointed out that the dive was into a double off tank, which may have been a factor, but certainly dive getting tons of value for Chaos. However, we're not able to convert that into a win. Quick 3-0 from Mystics.
Yeah, this is pretty sweet. GG's, guys.
Well,
the Frank Hog himself stupid to tell us GG's the stream, but it's gone now.
Yeah, just wanted to come in to I guess, assert power.
Well, if we had to look at a player of the match, who would be your pick? Because I would have 2 keen choices, but I couldn't narrow it down.
Stan W definitely got a ton of value, especially early on that Ash and on the Symmetra.
Yeah, both. Continue. Sorry.
It's hard to value because Stupid did get a ton of value on the Hog, but on the other show, I'm not sure how much of that was Stupid and how much of that was just the amount of space the rest of the team was making. So I think I would give it to Stand Up.
Yeah, Stan W and Lynx both look very strong. I think Stan W definitely had some flashy plays, but they both knew what played to their strengths. They used their high ground control, their flank angles correctly, and they recognized that NFG they weren't communicating the flanks well enough. I have to say, though, some bright spots on NFG. Logi Bear, especially in the last map, the second and last maps, really picked up on what Lynx and Stand W were doing, and they tried their hardest to contest them and shut them down, but unfortunately, Alucio can't take on an army of flankers.
We did see that. We also saw Zappa having moments on the Zarya, however, Zarya got a lot of value on the Zarya, just really the grab's not able to be followed up by the team.
Yeah. Bright spots on both teams overall. I think the NFG just needs to look at some positioning things, and they'll be in a much better spot once they figure that out.
Yeah, certainly you saw that Mystics are able to understand their comp and their team win cons better, and really able to leverage that with the pressure on the Chaos.
Well, that's all I've got for now. So, do you have anything else to add, Maddie?
Not really. Yeah, just do got to say that it definitely feel for Chaos. Just because you had a bad loss and one person BM you, hope that doesn't hurt them too much. And just that's motivation
to learn from this match. Yeah.
Exactly. Really hope they take this as a learning experience, and would like to see how Chaos grows and attacks from this moving on.
For sure.
Yeah, that will about wrap it up for us here for this match. I'm not sure if there are any later today. I don't believe there are. Doesn't. So,
Bye.
thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next time.